Do you think it was us that got Jeff Petrie to shave his mustache?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the show, right? Because we mentioned and then it was gone.
Yeah. Immediately after we mentioned it,
immediately.
he shaved it.
So Petrie's a fan? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, he endorses it. This is the SDP as endorsed by Jeff Petrie.
The SD Petrie.
Whoa.
It was right there.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not Jeff Petrie. It's Dominic Ducharme. He heard Adam criticize him all through the playoffs, and he's like, this guy in Toronto keeps talking smack about me. I'm going to tune in. And he heard you last episode say that Petrie needs to shave, and he tapped Petrie on the shoulder and said, Adam Wild said shave.
It's why the Habs are 0-5.
I got a
You
DM.
spend too much time listening to us.
I got a DM. Hey, Adam, I hope you're well.
This is from Jeff Ducharme.
I want to thank you. I'm becoming a bit famous and being associated with your podcast with Steve and Jesse. I've had a few people talk to me about it and mention your name as the head coach of the Canadiens, Jeff Ducharme.
Wow.
My buddy from City, who is a cameraman. Actually, Jeff Ducharme. Actually, Jeff Ducharme. The real Jeff Ducharme. Hi, Jeff. Yeah, so like my friend Jeff, who we used to do like red carpets and stuff together, and Jeff is one of the funniest cameramen I've ever worked with. He's amazing. Yeah, so he's the guy I kept saying Jeff Ducharme.
That's
That's
good.
who it was.
Awesome.
Now, I do want to ask you this. Habs are 0-5. Do we officially call it the Curse Shire?
Oh, wow.
Do we?
Because Andrew Berkshire has not done a game over for a Habs win ever in his life. And the common denominator is him.
Mm-hmm. It's his fault, clearly.
And if you're not aware, live after every Habs game, Andrew Berkshire goes live on our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/SCPN.
It's so good.
You can get live post-game show. And yeah, he hasn't done a victory yet.
And I'm so impressed. Dude, he has 2 guests every show. And I'm pretty sure he's like done
booking them. The only one he didn't have was Buffalo, and then got Dwayne.
Because nobody wanted to do it.
So
nobody wanted to do the Buffalo game, and that turned out to be one of the best ones.
And like, it's not like he runs it by us. Like, we're not his boss. I'm like, oh, you got Sarah Sivian. That's cool.
That's great. Yeah.
And then I was like, I messaged him like, why haven't we had Sarah on? And it just never occurred to anyway. So Sarah and Arun did an amazing job yesterday. And you know, I was listening to it this morning in the car at like 4:30 in the morning, and it just. You could hear the exasperation. And it was funny when I sometimes I go and I'll read the comments and stuff, and somebody, a Habs fan wrote, you know, I just don't feel like this podcast represents me. There's not a Habs fan on this podcast. And I was thinking, because
ours or his?
No, on Andrew's. And I'm like, if you don't think Andrew Berkshire may have renounced his Habs citizenship years ago when Subban was traded. But let's be honest. If they were winning, he'd be going to the Stanley Cup parade.
I was talking to him about that last year when they were in the final. I'm like, doesn't party. Aren't you back a little bit?
No,
like,
he said he wasn't cheering. He said he wasn't like a fan in that instance. He was watching alongside the Habs, but he wasn't a fan of it.
But he has a certain expertise. Yeah. He's able to look at it objectively, but he understands how you would look at things if you didn't.
Right. He is also a fan. Like, come on.
I don't know.
He understands the history of the Habs, which I think is a very important thing. He understands the temperature of the city, which it's red hot right now.
Yeah.
Red hot.
I mean, we were talking about how this would all play in the media last episode.
Their GM addressed the media before Jesperi Kotkaniemi came to town and scored.
Yeah.
And before Brendan Gallagher had yet another goalie interference call to get upset about.
We'll talk about that in just a second, too.
Okay.
So is it officially the hashtag Curseshire until...
Yes.
Yes, it has to be.
Curseshire.
Curseshire. Hashtag Curseshire. The next Montreal game, I believe, is tomorrow night. And
I don't know.
I believe it is.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So basically, so this is cool. Tomorrow night, you'll be able to watch Steve do his live stream for Sportsnet during the Leafs game. And then after the Leafs game, you'll be able to go to the SDPN channel and watch Andrew do his live show for the Canadiens Detroit for a battle of who's worstest.
That's about 4 hours straight of content.
Just good content.
Yeah, set up your laptop, get your video games out. I know a bunch of people have been messaging me about Far Cry 6. And how much they love it. It's an amazing game. I'm going to start streaming it here soon too. And so that's what you need to do. Have Steve and Andrew on. You're set. Now, let's talk about last night's game. And specifically, Steve, you mentioned the Gallagher no goal. Now, let me ask the whole room. Steve, is it a goal?
I understand why it was called no goal, but oh boy, I thought it was kind of soft.
Jesse,
I
is
thought
it a
was
goal?
soft.
I have to watch it again. I only saw it once.
Okay, pull it up so everybody can watch it together.
When I saw it, I was like, no goal.
Well,
but
here's how I look at it. So often when these goals are called back, the offending player is in the crease. They're touching the goalie in a way that prevents them from doing their job.
Which is the whole spirit of the rule.
But very often, at least in the goals that come back that I've seen, the offending player does not touch the puck.
Right.
Gallagher did. Like what I saw him do, the deflection took a great deal of skill. Yeah, if you scroll up a little bit, Jesse, you'll see like what he does. He places it absolutely perfectly, and he tips it out of the way of Anderson's glove. To me, I'm watching this play. Anderson tracks it the entire time, and Gallagher's actions do not prevent Anderson from stopping this puck. He didn't know where it was. And that's not a criticism of Frederik Andersen. It's a perfectly tipped shot. Like, I'm just trying to find in this clip Gallagher doing something that made Freddie's job impossible. And look at where Gallagher's feet are. Are they in the blue paint? His left foot, maybe, barely. Is he actually making contact with Freddie? Maybe, barely. Is he restricting his movement in any way? Maybe, but barely.
I have to say, I don't... Jesse, I do want to ask you.
okay.
Is it a goal or not a goal?
I'm going to tell you two things you said there that I think are incorrect.
Okay.
Is he doing anything to restrict the goalie from not making the save? No, I think you're correct on that point. But the other two parts where, yes, he does make contact with the goalie. You can't do that. Two, he's too close. Can't do that. I think in the spirit of the rule, probably not goalie interference. Probably, hey, that's a clean goal. But by definition, you can't get that close to the goal. You can't make contact. And he does make his butt there grazes his shoulder. You can't have a player grazing his butt grazing the shoulder of the goalie right here, and you not call it goalie interference.
See,
so I think the refs made the right call.
Freddie does come across ever so slightly, and it's difficult to know, like, is that because he pushed, or is that because Gallagher sort of drags him a little bit, and it does take him out of the path of the puck.
Right. And you see how his mitt is right up against Gallagher on the side here? If he reaches forward in any way, he's touching Gallagher and he can't make a save. That's interference.
And if you bring your glove forward, you'd be able to cut down the angle and everything.
Right.
And
you just can't be there on the ice, and you can't make contact with the goalie. And he did those two things.
I don't want to live in a world where that's not a goal. I don't want the NHL to be a league where that's not a goal. And so that's what I was trying to do with that bit was go around the room and then have you guys break it down afterwards. So we each had it. But like you can, I guess you can see how it shouldn't be a goal, but to me that is a goal. That is an absolute goal. There is going to be contact between goalie and player in the NHL. It's impossible for there not to be. So if we're going to call back every good goal that, and I love Freddie, but like he just like whispers in Freddie's ear and it's not a goal? Come on.
What's frustrating to me is we've seen this goal count.
Yeah. So is this a new thing that they're doing, or is it just that's what they decided?
No, it's the judgment call of that particular evening. Now, Gallagher loves to use the word Toronto. It's his favorite word in the world.
Yeah.
He likes it more than hockey, and if he has a dog, he likes it more than his dog's name.
So he said some person in Toronto.
Yeah, some person in Toronto.
The guy
still is wearing a Frederik Andersen jersey, I suppose.
The guy touching the puck is also touching the goalie. I think that's interference.
Yeah, it's what I'm frustrated with, or I guess where Gallagher is coming from, because he was very upset about this, and he talks about himself as a student of the rules. Because he knows this is his job. So he studies the video that the league sends out every year. This is goalie interference. This is not. And he's like, and I follow that to a T. Well, you can have a plan to follow it to a T, but like, bro, you're standing on skates on ice. Like, you can have the best of intentions and still make a mistake.
Sure.
You could have, my feet are, like, look how close his feet are to the crease there. He probably practices that. He probably knows where he's standing in accordance to the blue paint without even looking, in the same way that a goalie would know where they are without even looking. But at the end of the day, if the goalie's in the blue paint and you're touching them,
and you touch the puck at the same time and then it goes in, I think that's the definition of goalie interference.
I think you know what's not a good argument, and I think this is Adam's argument, and it's not. I'm not even saying I disagree with this argument, Adam, but your argument, I'm fairly certain, is come on.
Yeah.
It's like Krabsov coming back to the Rangers. Come on!
Like it's not effective. I look at that, and Jesse, you didn't say a thing that was wrong. You didn't say a single thing. But come on!
That's not in the spirit of what the game is, and that's not in the spirit what the rule is. That's my
it is
opinion.
entirely the rule.
Okay, and
But there's rules, and then there's spirit of the rule.
See, you're doing the come on.
come on. There's always, by the way, for every recurring complaint in the NHL, there's a fan base that is the captain of that complaint.
Okay, what's the
The Edmonton Oilers are the captain of the goalie interference complaint. This didn't count. Ryan Kessler being on top of Cam Talbot in the 2017 playoffs did. Come on!
right?
That was ridiculous. He was holding the goaltender.
Right.
While lying on top of him, but that didn't count.
Yep.
But should we go back? Should we go back in time and be wrong always then? No. It's growth, like we talked about off the top of the show.
Yeah. So
Did that goal tie the game, by the way?
It was the first goal of the game.
yeah,
1-0.
So that changes the whole outlook of the game, right?
and because then Carolina goes up 2-0.
And
they-
I think that would have been the first time they scored first.
I believe-
Or no, they scored first against the Leafs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So it
believe
would have been the first since opening night.
It's not great.
as of now, they're on pace for 65 goals this year.
Ooh!
I'm pretty sure McDavid is on pace for more goals than the Canadiens.
Anze Kopitar has more goals.
Oh, certainly. I mean, what do they have? 3? And
They have not a lot.
And, so that sucks for them, right? Because that's wind out of your sails immediately. And then, of course, Kotkaniemi's out on the ice, and they boo him, and then they yell 6.1, and it's like, I don't know. That's not really a good one. Like, I think the other chant was fuck off. And I think
Which,
that made a
fair
lot more
enough.
sense. Fair.
It gets a point across. I don't remember who tweeted it, but it was basically, you paid to chant a millionaire's salary at him. Like, oh man, you showed him.
Yeah, well, and it's a pretty good salary. That's not bad. 6.1.
Why is-
I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
Why is KK the enemy here? I thought Montreal fans, I thought
he
they'd
signed
be
it.
kind of neutral on it.
Because he signed it.
But
You should always want to be a Canadian.
Oh,
you should
gosh.
want to be here. No, take your money. I would
can't-
rather make less millions.
I can't side with the fans on that one.
No.
I think I'm siding with the player because if somebody puts this money in front of you, you're gonna take it.
He just-
and it's the team you should be mad at who didn't want to match it.